Welcome back to another episode of Too Much Podtar. Today's August 9th, 2020. We got some DFS for you today. Starting our daily DFS episodes that we're going to be doing. Today I have on Joey Ricotta. So we're going to be running down, picks that we're going to be giving you for pitchers, hitters, some stacks, value plays, mostly for the main slate of games today, which is at 1:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 8 games are going on this nice Sunday afternoon slate. So I guess we'll just jump right into this. We'll start with pitchers, and me and Joey talked about before the show of playing cash games. Jacob deGrom is an obvious choice for $11,600 on DraftKings. He's facing off against the Marlins, so he's started off the year striking out 14 batters, just walking 2 over 12 innings pitched. The Mets actually gave him runs before his last outing, and he was able to get the win. So that's kind of surprising. The Mets actually gave him run support. So he's definitely going to be putting up those Cy Young type numbers again, and today against Miami. So,
yeah, definitely. I like DeGrom a lot. I mean, like we were talking about earlier, he's going to be highly owned. So, getting away from him in tournaments might make some sense if you can pick and choose your spots, because there are a lot of really solid options for pitching today. So, I mean, you look at even just the 3 guys directly under him on DraftKings, like Berrios, Lynn, and Gray. Obviously, Gray would be my favorite, but I like Lance Lynn a lot too here because of how well he's been pitching, and he has pretty good numbers against the Angels. But DeGrom in cash games, I think you just roll with him and you forget about it on FanDuel, and then on DraftKings he's got to be one of the locks for sure over there too.
Yeah, definitely. I even wrote that down. He's a lock, probably definitely the main lock. If there's any others, I don't know if there's any other locks for his pitchers, but he's definitely the one that's there. And yeah, you mentioned Berrios. That was one of my picks for pitchers. If you're playing a cash game on DraftKings, he would be my second pitcher. He's 10,000 on DraftKings, facing off against the Royals, doesn't have the best offense in the world. And he started off, or his last start he went 6 innings and just gave up 4 hits and 1 run, struck out 6. So looking to build off that against a kind of average offense. So definitely would be a solid option for you for pitchers. And also Charlie Morton is another one I would probably look at too, against the Yankees, who've always kind of struggled against him. And yesterday in the first game of the doubleheader, they put up 8 runs, but then the second one they kind of struggled again on offense. Didn't score any runs in the first game of the series. So they can definitely see some struggling there for the Yankees, and especially without Stanton now out. So I could definitely see Morton being solid today against them.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. I'm not getting to too much Morton, but it's more so because I like all the other pitchers around him, and like you mentioned, Berrios. I'm not really super high on Berrios today, only because I don't know if he can get the strikeouts that we're gonna need.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are some Ks in that lineup like if I'm paying the price right there, I would rather go just a little bit under for like Gray or Lynn, or a little bit higher for DeGrom, and that's the only reason why I'm not getting too much of him.
Right.
But limiting the damage, he should limit the damage against the Royals and pick up the win there. I think that's pretty almost a lock there. I don't know. What do you think about some of these other guys?
Well, Well, you mentioned Sonny Gray. I like him too. He's a good option. Lance Lynn. Let's see. I guess Spencer Turnbull could be a good option for against. He's placing off against the Pirates. So I mean, the Pirates don't have really anybody. Like they have Josh Bell, but Adam Frazier. Other than that, they really don't have much of an offense. So, and I think I haven't really looked into Turnbull much, but he's gotten off to a pretty solid start so far. So
Yeah.
he can definitely be a good value option.
Yeah, I like that call a lot. I mean, I don't know if there's another lock in that mid-tier
Yeah.
range, like you were saying. But Turnbull is one of those guys that I'm really looking at because I mean, he started out the season really well. Last year, he started out really well too, and I think he might have dealt with some injuries, and then he wasn't as good in the second half of the season. But I mean, his K rate right now, I think he's at like 31% or something like that, and the Pirates aren't really they don't strike out a whole lot, but and they've been pretty hot. Both of these teams, hitting wise, these last few days, they've been pretty hot. But I like it. I like what I'm seeing from Turnbull, so I would roll the dice with him for sure.
Yeah, like I saw the other day when it was like I forget the score. It was like 14-14 in extra innings or something, and I was like joking, that this is the World Series preview.
Yeah, yeah, really. If the Pirates only had a little bit of a better record right now, we could be talking that way because the Tigers are not playing too bad of baseball right now, like the Marlins.
Yeah, they were like in position like if the playoffs started today, they'd be in there.
Yeah, it's so weird, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, you called that before the season too. Tigers and Pirates World Series.
Called that before like the whole 60 game season, before like we were supposed to have an actual season.
Right, yeah.
Well, let's get into some hitters picks for today's games.
Well, I've got some other pitchers too.
Pitchers. Yeah.
I've got some other pitchers too. If you
Yeah, you can roll down some more. Yeah.
Which I'm highlighting them in the article too. That should be out in a little bit, but I think Andrew Heaney is really interesting against Texas. Just a little bit cheaper than Turnbull, but not. I think. I mean, he's gotten off to a pretty decent start here.
Yeah.
With a 2.35 ERA, and he's not striking out a whole lot of batters, but his pitch count is steadily increasing. I mean, he got up to 87 last time against the Mariners, and I think he can limit the damage here. He's actually been better against righties than lefties, like last year and so far this year, but career-wise better against lefties, so maybe that'll be good against guys like Joey Gallo and stuff like that. But I think I'll definitely have some shares of Heaney. And a weird one, I know we love DeGrom today, and everybody loves DeGrom, but I kind of have some interest in Pablo Lopez, and mainly it's because I like the hedge stack or the hedge play there, because I think a lot of people are going to be stacking the Mets.
Yeah.
So I really think that's a good way to get different, is to play the opposing pitcher, and he looked really solid his last time out. He only threw just over 60 pitches, but 5 scoreless innings with 7 Ks and only 2 hits allowed, 0 walks. I mean, we've seen Lopez, have these good starts, and I think this is a day that he could surprise some people. And at 7K, I mean, that's about as low as I'll go today, and I think it's a good opportunity there, maybe, possibly.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Like, especially with I said with the Mets actually giving DeGrom run support last week, like they can. I don't know if they'd be able to do it two starts in a row, like so.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like DeGrom is always on the short end of the stick. It feels like so. Probably the best pitcher in the world right now, and you just never know how much he's going to get in support.
No. That's why I wasn't even surprised. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up going 0-0 this year or something like that. But not happening now.
Yeah.
That would have been
Yeah,
fun.
at least he's got one now, at least.
He could still go like 1-4 though.
Yeah, right. Or just 1-0, just
Oh, yeah.
all no decisions.
1-0. That would be so. And wins the Cy Young.
Wins the Cy Young with a 1.05 ERA and a 1-0 record.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to go move on to hitters now.
Yeah, sorry. Those were the two guys that I was just wanted to highlight real fast.
Yeah, definitely a lot of good options today. I think the one pitcher which pains me to say that I'm definitely staying away from is James Paxton. Like as a Yankees fan, it's hard to say, but he's just he hasn't found his stuff yet. He's just off to such a rough start. Like I don't know what's going on with him.
Yeah, I agree. There's something going on, and his velocity's down. Um, I'm staying away. It's a hard fade for me. It's easily
Yeah.
it's an easy fade there at that price too, especially. But yeah, I definitely won't have any packs now.
Yeah. So some hitters here. I had Joey Votto as one option for the Reds against Brandon Woodruff. And this is obviously a small sample size, but in 9 at bats, he's gone 6 for 9 with 2 homers against him in his career. And also since 2018 against right-handers, he's hit 23 home runs with a 846 OPS. So he definitely mashes right-handers. And now the Reds lineup is solid this year, and it's been really good so far. I could definitely see him hitting one out today. Another for his third one against Woodruff. So he's an option. Another one I had was Bryce Harper against the Braves, who are throwing out. Well, they have a doubleheader today. In the first game, the Braves are throwing out Hudsker Yanoa, who's not. It hasn't even. I don't even know. I don't think he started it yet on the major league level.
No, he hasn't.
Yeah, last year in AAA in 72 innings, he had a 5.52 FIP and a 1.73 home runs per 9. So definitely could see a lot of hitting around for that Phillies lineup, especially Harper, he's had 2 home runs so far this year, 7 for 24. So he's an option there he's 5,200. And Votto was 4,400 on DraftKings. Those are my 2 picks for hitters, or my 2 like main picks at least.
Yeah, I love those calls. Votto's just you just always can roll with him too, like you said, against righties and the small sample and everything like that against Woodruff. So I like that, and I love Harper. Harper's one of my mainstays as well. He's going to be locked in. I'm trying to get him in cash. I think you can make it work because of some of these other cheap hitters. So I really like Harper. Another guy from that game who's hitting cleanup. The lineup's out now. Sir Didi Gregorius. He's hitting cleanup. He's only 4K on DraftKings. He's hitting pretty well this year. The short porch out and right in Philly. Like you said, this lineup's facing a guy that's making his first career major league start. Didn't overwhelm in the minors or anything like that. He's just kind of there to fill a spot and play a role today. Which is why I think the Phillies lineup might be a little bit watered down. They got Real Muto out of the lineup. And some of these other guys. Kingery's not in there. So I really like Harper. I like this lineup. There's some nice value there. Adam Hazley hitting at the top. But Gregorius is one of my main plays today for sure.
Yeah.
And another guy that I'll be getting a lot of, who's actually hitting near the bottom. Well, I like this Tigers lineup. Brault doesn't give up a lot of hard contact. He doesn't give up a lot of home runs. So I could see him limiting the damage here, which kind of scares me a little bit. But I think as far as value goes, and especially in cash games, you want to get some of these Tigers bats in the lineup. So really 1 through 4 with Goodrum, Scope, Cabrera, Crone, I don't think you can really go wrong there. My favorites, though, are going to be Scope and Crone. And then I actually really like the guy at the bottom of the lineup, Jacoby Jones, who's been tearing the cover off the ball, is hitting 9th. But, yeah, I that's one of my main plays, I feel like, at this point, just because of his price tag. And I think he's going to get overlooked a lot because of where he hits. So, yeah, I could definitely see him doing some damage. And, yeah, other than that, I mean, those are kind of my core guys right now, but there's quite a few hitters I'm interested in because I think it's going to be tough you're going to have to get a little bit different with everybody having the same pitcher for the most part with DeGrom.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. A lot of times I try to look for guys that people don't really look at, like somebody that's you think can maybe have like a really good breakout day today or something.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very, very wise on a slate like this too.
Yeah, a lot of good pitching, so definitely going down the board for hitters is definitely solid to do. Trying to see.
I'm with you though on Harper. I think that's my top spend up option. If I'm going to spend up for a hitter, it's going to be Harper, I think, today.
Yeah, definitely him. Like, there's not really anybody else. Maybe. I don't know. I probably wouldn't. I was gonna say Judge, but I don't against Morton. He doesn't really do much against him, so I think I probably wouldn't spend up for him. But
yeah, in a tournament though, I could see it if you want to get even a Yankees stack. But the problem with the Yankees though is they always seem to be a little bit more popular than they even should be given the matchup.
Yeah.
Just because of how many Yankees fans there are, you being one of them, obviously, but. They garner a lot more ownership, even in matchups like this against Morton. It's going to be tough to get different that way and play him like a contrarian play. But I mean, you never know with Judge because he's been so freaking hot to start the year. I could see it, even though he doesn't hit Morton well. It's sometimes it just doesn't matter when you're in a zone,
Oh yeah, definitely. I could definitely see it. Well, I mentioned we've been talking about Harper too. I think you go in the same game. The other way, you can go with some Braves hitters too against Vince Velasquez. Because Vince Velasquez, he's hasn't been at the best pitcher, so they got a lot of good batters in their lineup. Ozuna, obviously Acuna, but I don't think I would spend up for Acuna. But like you said, Bryce Harper is probably the one I would spend up for. But there's also they got Dansby Swanson in the lineup. Some of the other guys as you go. So it could be
definitely.
I think that's definitely going to be like a high scoring game. Maybe a lot of home runs hit with those two pitchers. So.
Yeah. see, I keep seeing to be determined with the pitcher. Um, if it is Velasquez, I have a lot of interest in the Braves side too. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Because I guess it's supposed to be Velasquez for one of the games today, and then
Yeah.
um, Spencer Howard for the other. If it's Spencer Howard, I don't want any part of the
Oh,
Braves.
yeah.
Because I think he could be the real deal, even though it's going to be his first start. But um, Velasquez, he's got a tendency to get lit up, and I could see like guys like Freeman really having a day today against
Yeah,
Velasquez.
definitely.
But the lineup, it should be out. I
Yeah.
mean, the lineup is out, but I'm not sure if Velasquez,
Let's see.
if they just didn't change it.
Yeah, it should be by now. It'd be out for a 1 o'clock game.
Yeah, their lineup is. I just don't know if they penciled him in to start that game or not
Oh, I don't
for
know.
sure. But at any rate, yeah, if he's in there on this main slate, I would say play Braves for sure, at least in tournaments at least.
Oh yeah, definitely. Let's see. Wait. Yeah. Yeah, it still says TBD for both their games right now. The Braves
That's
have
good.
the Braves have both the pitchers, and then Free in the second game.
Hmm. Well,
Uh,
it's something to monitor for sure leading up to lock.
yeah. Oh, it didn't on MLB Network. I mean MLB.com. I don't even see the Braves lineup at all. I just see the Phillies.
For confirmed or for.
Like it's not
Oh,
even.
I was on Fantasy Labs and I
Oh,
was also on RotoWire. That's where I saw the lineup.
oh, okay.
But so I know. So yeah, their lineup. Oh wait, yeah, I only see the Phillies lineup. I
Oh,
think
okay.
is confirmed. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's what I said. It didn't have. It only had the Phillies confirmed. Yeah. So
Yeah, I don't think the Braves lineup is confirmed yet. But if the Phillies lineup is confirmed, then you would think that they would have
had a starter.
like, yeah, the starter's probably confirmed too. So I would think that Velasquez is getting the start, but I don't know. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. By the time this episode's out, it's probably gonna be it's probably gonna actually be there. So
Yeah, we'll have 100% clarity probably at that point.
yeah, I mean it's gonna be Howard in one of the games. So it just depends on which game it is.
Right.
But
Do you
yes,
have any other stacks or you have some stacks that you like?
the one I liked was the Twins versus the Royals. They face off against Brady Singer, who's given up 2 home runs in each of his last 2 starts. So facing a Twins lineup that's so homer happy. They haven't really slowed down since last year. They have 22 home runs so far this year. It's which is fourth in the league. So you can go roll with guys like Nelson Cruz, Jorge Polanco, Max Kepler, Eddie Rosario in that lineup. And let's see. And there's also Arise. Luis Arise is another maybe an option. He doesn't hit home runs, but he's only struck out at a 7.8% rate. So if he can keep that up, he can definitely get some solid hits. Maybe have 2 hits or something like that against Singer. And Rosario, he has 94 of his 109 career home runs are against right-handers. So he definitely has a good matchup there. So that's That's definitely a good option to stack Twins against Royals. And then
Yeah, definitely.
also the Nationals against the Orioles against Asher. What? I always mess this name up. Wojciechowski. Yeah, that's always yeah. Who's he hasn't had a good career as a starter. 33. He's given up 33 home runs in 139 innings pitched, which is a 2.14 home run per nine rate. 5.34 xFIP for his career, and just a 21.9% K rate. And they got the Nationals obviously don't have as good as the lineup as last year, but they still have guys like Soto, Eaton, Turner, and even Castro is off to a good year after struggling last year. But this year he's he's slashing so far 361, 378, and 500. So he's off to a really hot start. So those guys are the main options for that stack, which I really like.
Yeah, definitely. I like that call too.
I actually had that stack last week again, like when I did or not last week, a couple of days ago when I did the one on Friday, I think it was the DFS article. I had them, but and then it ended up being the Orioles that were scoring like 8 runs or something in that game. And I was like, oh, I should have went with the Orioles stack. Dang.
Yeah. Got the right game, just the wrong team.
Yeah. Well, hopefully today it's the opposite.
Yeah, we'll see. I think against Asher, they've got a good chance to put up some numbers.
Especially at home too.
Oh yeah.
So, you have any stacks other than those two?
Yeah, I've got a few actually. I like we talked about earlier with the Tigers. I mean, hitting home runs against Brault, it's not really it doesn't happen even though that much, even though, he's not the greatest of pitchers. He walks a lot of batters. So, which isn't really the greatest for fantasy purposes, but I think if he's going to have a bad day as far as giving up some bombs, it'll probably be today, given the fact that how hot the Tigers are. And if you're going to be paying up for pitching, their price across the industry is very reasonable, just as a team. And like I mentioned, Jacoby Jones earlier, I really like the wraparound stack with 9 through 4, or, you got to pick on DraftKings which first baseman you're going to use. I prefer Crone over Miguel Cabrera, but you can get different. You can make different lineups that way, and separate yourself from the field a little bit. And believe it or not, the team with the best WOBA against left-handed pitching this year is the Detroit Tigers, with a 429 WOBA against lefties, and their WRC plus is also the best in baseball against lefties at 182. So their slugging percentage, everything is up against lefties. So I really like the Tigers today, because they're so cheap. So in cash games, I'll be rolling them out there, and in tournaments. Another team I like today is the Red Sox. Going against Shoemaker. Shoemaker struggles against lefties. We'll see. I like Devers a lot today. I won't be using him in cash games, but I like the Red Sox stack. And then there's some nice one-off plays there with like Verdugo, Mitch Moreland, stuff like that. Verdugo's pretty damn cheap. And even the other side of that, Eovaldi's been pretty decent this year, but we know that he can be erratic. And so I do like getting to the Blue Jays, that game stack in general there. You mentioned the Braves, and we mentioned the Phillies. The Phillies are, between them, the Tigers, and the Red Sox, those are my 3 favorite stacks today. They've got some nice value in the lineup, and even guys like Jay Bruce hitting a little bit lower. We mentioned Harper, Hazley, Didi near the top. But yeah, I like that stack a lot going against Inoa, making his debut. It's not. It'll be fairly high in ownership, I believe, but I don't see any reason why they don't smash today, or at least put up decent enough numbers. So I like that a lot.
Yeah. If you mentioned the Braves again, I have some breaking news. I believe it's been confirmed that Vince Velasquez is starting Game 1 today. So
There you go.
definitely roll with the Braves lineup too, or some of the guys in that lineup.
Yeah, definitely get some exposure to them if you're making multiple lineups, I think.
Yeah. Because I just saw that now on it's said the lineup is on DraftKings, so it says he's the starter. So
Sweet.
yeah.
There we go. We got one more pitcher to attack today.
Yeah. Yeah, so go make some money here today with your lineups. Joey's article will be out, later today before the games. Well, actually, it'll be out by the time you listen to this, probably, or a little bit after that. So now we got just over 2 hours before the games start for the main slate of games. So yeah, definitely do that. And now I'm gonna be making some lineups before I have to go to work today. So
Yeah. Let's get this money. Come on, guys. Don't be afraid to get a little bit different. That's my advice for today because the hitting's obviously going to be difficult to figure out, but there's a lot of great pitching options, and I think today is going to be a fun slate. I really do.
yeah, it definitely looks like a lot of fun. So I feel like we're gonna have some surprises too. Like we're get some names in there that we didn't even mention that are gonna have a good day.
Yeah. There's your guy Paxton. I don't know. I think the Rays could be a potential sleeper there too. So
Yeah.
watch out for that. I'm not getting a lot of them, but I'll probably get some.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's gonna be some sleepers today, I think.
Oh yeah. Nice Sunday afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Sunday afternoon baseball. But I gotta work, so I can't even watch the games. Damn it.
That sucks, man. Well, hopefully you have some money when you get off of work, though.
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully I win $1 million and I can quit my job now.
Yeah, that's the dream for all of us, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, that's our picks for DFS today. And we'll be having another one tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that. So hopefully starting every day, we're going to hopefully have one every day. Probably around 11 o'clock or so, it'll be out. So every day for at least for the afternoon games, if there's afternoon, but if it's just night game slates, like then it might end up being later, but depending on when we record it and all that. So definitely keep an eye out for all those though every day, and then we start doing some more episodes. Soupy also mentioned we'll be starting doing his best hitters of the week on podcast. He's been doing articles of that. He started his first one this last week. He did that also last year, so he's continuing that. He's going to be doing that on kind of short episodes of this pod. So definitely keep an eye out. And our merger with Primetime Sports Talk at the Scorecard was almost there. So the new site is actually up and running. We just have a few kinks to work out, but it's there. So we got the new site on primetimesportstalk.com. So check that out, and we got all the new writers to work with, which is exciting. So, and this podcast will be going up there every time we have an episode. It'll be up in its own category. So up in the podcast category. So Yeah, it's another place you can find it. Find us on all podcast platforms. And yeah, thanks for coming on, Joey, to talk some, DFS for today.
Yeah, definitely, man. Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be doing this a lot more moving forward, and hopefully I can find more time to write a little bit more. Basically, I'm just on Sundays now, but doing these podcasts and stuff. Yeah, I always love some good MLB DFS action, so um, it's going to be a lot of fun. We still have a lot of baseball left to play, even though it's a shortened season. So,
Yeah.
And I'm excited for all the changes too with prime time and Score Crow merging. So, yeah, let's get it. It's going to be a fun rest of the year.
Yeah, so that's today's episode. We'll be back tomorrow with another one for DFS. And just a reminder, you can never have too much pod tar.